Hi. So let's continue. All right. So in the previous video, I explained how the high and low, all right, that we write in the code over here translates to logic and from there to voltage levels. Now let's apply that right now and understand how we can now physically connect external devices to the pins of the microcontroller and get your program to control these external devices or components. Okay, so the first thing is we need to add our components. All right. Um, so the best way, of course, to do prototyping is to use a breadboard. Okay, so I'm going to drag a breadboard over here and put it next, all right, to our Arduino. Now, how a breadboard works, okay, is fairly easy. The breadboard has two rows at the top and two rows at the bottom. As you can see, when I move my mouse over, this entire row is internally connected together. Same thing over here. And the same thing applies for the bottom two rows as well. Okay, individually they are rows, but all the points on the same row are connected together internally. All right. Now, this two blocks over here, all these connections are vertical. That means if I move my mouse over here, you can see that F, G, H, I, J for column 1 are all connected internally. Same thing for column 2, column 3, and so on. Now, this is a mini breadboard. Okay, so these are the connections. If you go to the hardware shop and buy a standard size or a bigger breadboard, it will be twice as long. All right, and in those cases, or those types of breadboard, sometimes in the middle there is a break. So instead of a continuous connection across the whole row, there might be a break somewhere in the middle. Okay, that again depends on the breadboard. Okay, some breadboards may still have a continuous connection, some may have a break in between. All right, now let's go ahead and connect the LED and the current limiting resistor. Okay, so now over here you can see that we need two components, the LED and the resistor. Okay, so let's take out the LED first. Now the LED has two pins. Okay, one is called the anode, the other is called the cathode. All right, in the Tinkercad they have already easily distinguished the both of them by having a curved leg for the anode and a straight leg for the cathode. In order for a LED to light up, current must flow through the LED from anode to cathode. Okay, that means the anode must always be connected to the positive side of the circuit and the cathode to the negative side of the circuit. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm first going to take this LED and maybe flip it. Okay, so the anode is on the left, cathode is on the right, and I'm going to just place it somewhere, maybe here. All right. Now, what I'm going to do now is connect a pin, a wire from D13 all the way to column 6. All right. So when I do this connection, okay, when I place this wire, what am I doing? I'm creating a wire, a connection between pin 13 all the way to column 6 over here. Now this column 6 is on the top half of the breadboard, which means that F, G, H, I, J, all these rows on pin 6 are all internally connected. All right. So this connection means that the connection is also made to the anode of the LED. Now, I can connect. Okay, so for current to flow, you need a complete path. That means from a supply through the components and back to ground. All right, so where is the ground? So on your Arduino board, okay, as you can see, we have power supply lines here, 5 volts, 3.3 volts, plus ground and ground. Okay, so I can take any of this ground. So see, there's also a ground over here. So I can just take any of these ground pins and connect a wire to the negative over here. So this means that this entire line over here is all ground. Okay. Now, in order for me to complete the circuit, I need to add one more component, which is the current limiting resistor. All right. So why do you need a current limiting resistor? Because if you just directly allow 5 volts, okay, or you connect a 5 volts across an LED, there's a high chance that the current is too much and the LED will blow. All right, it may light up just for a fraction of a second and then it will just blow. Okay, so in order to preserve the LED, we need to limit the current. Okay, so that is where a resistor comes in. So I'm going to add a resistor here. All right, and I'm going to put it as maybe 220 ohms. All right, now let's trace the path. So currently the path goes from pin 13 to this column 6, which is connected to the anode. It will flow through the LED to the cathode through the resistor. And what I need to do is I need to make sure there's a path back to ground. So from this line, I'm going to connect a wire back to here, which will give me a pathway back to ground. All right, so that is basically the complete circuit. Okay, in terms of code, we do not need to make any changes. All right, because the LED built in is referring to pin 13. All right, which means that right now my code should drive both the internal LED and the external LED. All right, so let's see that in action. All right, so as you can see, the internal LED and external LED are both lighting up at the same time. All right, so this gives you an idea, all right, how to connect up an external circuit, all right, to the Arduino and run your code. Okay, so this again, we are starting from the very basics to make sure you understand all the fundamentals as we build up, okay, each concept along the way. All right, so I hope you have learned something important today, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.